What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chantel, and of course, welcome to Chantel's Beauty Talk. And I would like to say beauty is on the inside, beauty is on the outside, and of course, beauty is loving yourself. And today, it's all about loving ourselves and also loving on our people, our Black people, all people in general. There's so many things that are happening in the world today, and we're here to talk about it. But more importantly, we're here to talk about it in a safe and healthy way. Today is all about finding a place of mental peace through all of our anxieties. I mean, like I said, it's so many things happening all over the world. We are in a very big state affair, and if we haven't taken a moment to have peace within inside ourselves, if we haven't taken a moment just take a second from all the things that are happening, today is the day, at this very moment, at this time, especially with my girl, the analog girl. So I'm so happy to see you. Hey girl, hey. Today is going to be about healing. It's going to be therapeutic, and it'll be a place for us to talk and feel comfortable, and there's no judge-free zone over here, okay? More importantly, our guest LaToya, I've known her since we worked at BET together. She has a podcast called The Analog Girl, and I'm so excited because after talking to her and learning more about her podcast as well, she is so dope, and she gives great ways of just how to deal with things, especially if you deal with anxiety. And she provides a platform for people to just like speak how they feel. And sometimes we have to speak how we feel to obviously just get certain things out. And that's what her podcast is all about. More importantly, she focuses on mental health and wellness. And I don't know about y'all, but we can definitely use that at a time like this. So without further ado, Toya, I am going to load you in. Hey, y'all. We just waiting on my girl. Hey, girl.
Hi.
How
I
you
was just
doing?
like, wait a minute, but they don't give me no. Wait, I want my subtle filter. There we go.
Hold on, should I do my subtle filter too? Because you got the boo popping.
Filter. I don't care.
Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Not playing. I'm like, wait, I'm not playing. Let me put on this subtle filter, and let me turn down these lights a bit. Let me make it a little softer. There we go.
Okay, the light is beaming real good. The lipstick is popping.
You know,
the black shirt. Okay,
right? It's all face, so I don't have no hair. So,
first of all, you look like a whole black goddess over here. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and we did not plan on the black shirts, but
no, girl. But I just been wearing mine because rules is cut out. This from BT. That's 2015.
Got on my Black Girls Rock shirt.
Still rocking the brand. Shout out to BT. Some of the best times I've had.
Yes, and just for everyone, that's how we know each other. I mean, that was a great experience as well, and it's always good to come out from a network meeting like great Black women. Mm-hmm. I mean, Black people in general. Let me just say that, excellent Black excellence.
Yes.
We see that a lot at BET, but
yeah, there was
my
one
women
in there who wasn't worthy of being there. Not one.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And first of all, can I just say my Black women who are like, everybody is doing stuff. People who have left, people are still there. And you, I mean, we here right now. So I just want to say how I'm very proud to see all the things that you're doing.
Thank you.
In public, on a public platform. Okay. Mm-hmm. Give your just due, out here working hard.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So, I gave a little synopsis about you. I know you focus on mental health and wellness, mm-hmm. and you have your podcast called The Analog Girl. So without further ado, for people who don't know, can you talk about a little bit about who you are and your podcast?
So, again, my name is LaToya D. Some people call me. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. Ain't never been no place else. Like, that's how I sound like I'm from the Bronx. Like, the Bronx is my life. I love the Bronx, and I will always rep the Bronx. I'm a mom. I'm a mom of a 24-year-old.
Wouldn't know that, okay? Snatch is on, like, Snatch is here, okay?
That's it. I'm a mom of a 24-year-old. And I have been on this journey of mental health and wellness for about Since 2018. So that's what's that 3 years. For about 2 years or so, I've become very passionate about my own mental health, and then becoming passionate with my own mental health, it made me want to help others to do that too as well.
And you helped me the other day, because that felt like, so we all, just for everyone, like me and Toya were talking, and I have to say, like, that was even therapeutic for me. Even when we were just going over things for today, it was like, whew, like
It felt like a breath of fresh air.
Yes. First of all, there's so many things that are happening currently in the state of affairs. Like, I went to sleep super late last night. I went to bed at maybe 3 or 4 in the morning because I just couldn't sleep. But do you want to talk about how mental wellness and health is so important, especially when we're going through times such as right now?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, it's absolutely important that we not neglect our mental health at this time. And I know that it's easier said than done, because we are seeing a lot of stuff. We're seeing a lot of people say a lot of shit that's crazy. Like right now, it's a video that I guess went quote unquote viral that I posted on Facebook, and it's just so much hate under this post. And
what was the post, Toya? Sorry.
I posted this white man who he was stretching a bow and arrow at people in the crowd.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and so then he got on the news and was like, it was two African American black people, which that's an oxymoron. I don't know what that term is. So I posted that, and so now people are just going in, you dumb motherfuckers. It's just a whole lot. So we're seeing a lot, and we're getting a lot of aggression from people, and it's hard to maintain your emotions during this time. But what I'm finding is that I'm still trusting God, and I'm still praying. I'm still in that space.
Yes.
So a lot of people are like, I'm meditating. I meditate too, but I'm still, this time right now I'm using to really trust God and really lean on His understanding and trying to figure out how I'm going to navigate this hostile space, and just using Him as an example while I'm navigating this space. And also meditating too, and then just really just trying, you just got to ignore, just shut the madness out. So that's why I think it's most important now more than ever, even though we're protesting and we're standing up and we're speaking out, that you take a break sometimes. You definitely have to take a break from the social media at times. And it does not mean that you fall fault of the protest, or you're not, you know what I mean? You're not for the protest, or you're not standing in agreement with your own people. It doesn't mean that. You can take a break. You can post a selfie. You know what I'm saying? If that makes you feel good today.
It's just your way of just having a therapeutic moment. I need a second.
I saw someone saying oh yeah, and now's not the time to post a selfie. For what? Sometimes if I want to post a selfie, now a selfie looks good. I look good in that selfie, and it makes me feel good in this present moment right now. That's what the fuck I'm going to do. That doesn't mean that I'm not for the people, because I'm for the people always. But me posting a selfie and seeing people like it is going to make me feel good today.
Absolutely.
Right now. And that's me taking a break from everything. And we do have to take a break, No, we can't take a break from racism, but you have space to be able to go into yourself and take a break from it on your own. You know what I mean? Go in your own space and take some time for you, whatever that may be. So I think that's what we should. Yeah, I think that we definitely have to be cognizant of that during this time, because even our own people are talking crazy of, it's just a lot. And we need to take a break. That's just my everybody take a break for a second. Take a break.
First of all, I posted my selfie. I mean, I had on a hat that said Black Lives Matter, but I had to take a moment too. I'm just it's you know what it is? It's been getting worse. First of all, it already started off speechless.
It's been rough. 2020 has been rough.
Speechless. It's completely and utterly speechless. It's almost made me feel like I don't even have words to I really don't even have words to really say. I talk with friends and different people, and we're talking about a whole bunch of this stuff. I think at this point everyone is, and I think everyone is fed up, and everyone's just fed up in different ways. So I do agree with you about you need to take a moment, in whatever therapeutic space that is. I feel like we should all definitely take a moment aside, whether that's talking to your family, getting off the internet, getting off of IG, Facebook, whatever. Because I also saw the clip that you were talking about, and I'm like,
Yeah.
What?
And stay out the comments and all that stuff. Like you can, take a day off from that, because that is very anxiety inducing. And even though you can say I'm a calm person and you might be typing calm or whatever, but that is riling something up in you. You know what I mean? That those
Right.
mean words and these awful things that people are saying to us and about us is getting down in our spirits. And we have to protect our spirits and protect our space and protect our souls, because these people are wicked. You know what I'm saying? They're wicked and very wicked things. And I ain't gonna really get into the spiritual realm of it, but we just got to make sure that we protect our space and protect our peace when it comes to interacting with these people online.
Yeah, especially protecting our spirits. Okay.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which,
yes.
I'm happy that Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond are doing a versus today. I'm sorry, like that's gonna be my place of peace for today on IG, because I think it'll just kind of uplift some spirits and kind of just divert some different energy, just to make it a little more peaceful.
Because I definitely forgot. So thanks for the reminder.
Girl, I had that one locked in. I think that, Kirk got Fred a little bit, but listen, Fred got some soulful songs. So
he definitely got Fred, but I mean,
hey, like whatever way it is, like they couldn't have chose a better time to actually do this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. By the way, for everyone, throw some praying hands, because we all need prayers. And Toya, thanks for saying that as well. Like protecting your peace, protecting your spirit, most of all your spirit. You know what I mean? Like your energy is your spirit at the end of the day. So throw some praying hands, some hearts. Show my girl some love.
And the best way to do that is prayer. The best way to do that is prayer. And if you don't know how, you just have a regular conversation with God, or whoever your God is, or whatever you do to stay spiritually sound. That's what we still need to be doing today. We have to
absolutely. Speaking of which, I saw you yesterday on your live with Jessica Gray, Esquire Jessica Gray, and I was able to tune into that yesterday. I thoroughly enjoyed it. How was that? Because like that was very powerful too.
So she's one of my good friends from college, and she just always been, we studied together. We studied African studies and Black studies together in college. And we always bonded on having these conversations with each other. So we're always in our DMs talking about race relations and just Black culture in general. So I just thought that she's my own personal Asada Shakur. So I'm like, I want to really speak out. Well, not speak out, but I want to provide another perspective for the Black community, because a lot of us are like, why would you burn your own shit down? Why would you do that? Why would you do this? This is awful. Y'all out here doing this. And there's a lot of layers to it. One of the layers, the one layer that I just wanted her to be able to reiterate was that a lot of this violence is not us. There's a very high percentage of this that is not us out there doing this. There are peaceful protests going on. And then two, we're also dealing with a lot of people who have their mental space is just not stable. A lot of people. One, we've been on lockdown for 3 or 4 months or however long.
Are we going on? Was this been since March?
Full
3 months.
It's been a long time. That is compounded with the fact that we've been dealing with years and 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 years of racism and oppression. And with oppression comes depression. So there's a lot of depressed people out here. There's a lot of oppressed people out here. There's just so many layers to this uprising that we can't just easily just say, oh, y'all stupid, I can't believe this is happening. And one of the things that Jessica said that was so important was that, a lot of us Black people are worried more about the perception, or what perception white people have of us, or white media has of us, and not more so worried about the injustice that we're fighting for. So that's what I was just trying to get that message across, that we can't just jump to, we need to stop Black on Black violence or Black on Black crime, which is not a thing. There is just crime in general, is violence in general, that we need to stop that. And if we stop that, then the police are going to stop treating us the way that they treat. That's not true. So those are the messages that I wanted to get across, that, we can have other perspectives, and not throw our own people under the bus. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, just not throw us under the bus. Yes, some people are wilding out. Yes, some people are breaking. And at the end of the day, if we really look at it, yes, they're wilding out, but they're wilding out because all we're doing is asking Minnesota police to bring the rest of those cops to justice. That's what we're
Right.
asking, and they just won't do it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, you know, we just have to look at, you know, the bigger picture of what's going on, and not be so quick to throw your people in the community under the bus, as if I just don't support any of this. I don't, you know, and turn a blind eye, because then in all actuality, you're portraying some anti-Black behavior as if what the counterparts are doing, and they're just not listening to us. So that's what
and you know what, it's not even just the police, that's everywhere. I mean, we even deal with that at work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. And
men and women alike.
Men and women alike. And I'm telling you, I worked at an agency called AMP Agency, done with some of the most racist people I've ever encountered in my life. And it was so micro. It was so micro. The microaggression was ridiculous there. And at that time, I was going through the mental health. I had I guess you want to call it a nervous breakdown. And I started to experience something called depersonalization.
Yep.
Which is a symptom of anxiety. And it was a very, very hard time for me. And if you guys don't know what depersonalization is, you gotta Google it. The shit is
I got
crazy.
it. Wait, I'm gonna read it. I got the I came prepared, sis. I have the vocab word.
Yes.
Yes, you want me to read it real quick?
Sure.
Just for y'all, like Toya is saying, it's a disorder marked by periods of feeling disconnected or detached from one's body and or thoughts. The feeling is often described as feeling like you're observing yourself from your outer body, or like you're in a dream. And I feel like this is not something that's not uncommon. It's very common, because how many times do we find ourselves in situations, even like today, it's like you wake up and you see all these fires, you see you see a whole murder happen on national television that someone captured on their phone. And it's like, yo, like,
yeah. And a lot more people, I would think, are probably going to start to experience this symptom. And everybody experiences, and what happens is it's a fleeting experience. So it'll come and it'll go. And then there's some people whose anxiety is just really, really heightened, like myself. At that moment, and I was having panic attacks, and it stayed, so it became a chronic thing. So you know, there's people who will be in a chronic state of that dream-like feeling for days, weeks, months, and there's people out there for years.
And you know what I also want to touch on too, Toy, and I had this written down as well, is that like sometimes people feel like because if we seek help, that it's like it makes us look weak, and it's like, no, like, white people do this all the time. They go to their therapist, they talk to people, whether it doesn't matter who it is or who you seek counseling for. Sometimes for people, like maybe your therapy doesn't have to be for a long period of time. Maybe there's something that, you know, it may last only like 4 weeks. Maybe you feel more comfortable with going more often than a couple of weeks. I mean, it just depends on the person, but I feel like sometimes it's like a Black community, we feel like that makes us look weak. Like if a guy is crying, it makes him look weak. And it's like, no, a man can weep, you know, like everyone has feelings at the end of the day. So I wanted to touch on that and see what your thoughts were, because like we deal with that all the time.
Sure. Well, one thing I will say is that I just want to backtrack when you were saying white people do this all the time. I want us to stop using them as the bar. They are not the bar. They don't set the bar as to what our level of perfection is. They don't set the bar as to what, if they're doing it and it works for them, we should do it. We should be going to therapy, period. You know what I mean? Therapy works. We should be processing the emotions that white people have done. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a generational thing which is a whole nother discussion of generational curses and generational abuse that we have endured, that time and time again we're experiencing from our parents. And there's a lot of emotional abuse that comes with whatever they went through, and then in turn the children suffer, and then the children. You know,
no one goes to talk to anyone. Like how many
no one goes
parents?
To talk to anyone, and you need to be able to go to therapy and process. And that's one of the things that I picked up during the depersonalization that I was going through. And after losing my job because of depersonalization, is that I was like, I have to go to therapy. I got to figure this shit out. I got to figure out what it is, because once I realized that depersonalization is just really all, hey, well, that is just really all anxiety. I was like, all right, well, then what's the cause of my anxiety? You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
was trying to get to the bottom. What's the cause of my anxiety? My anxiety is because, unfortunately, I've had an Amy Cooper situation, but it wasn't the enemy. It was actually my father who called 911 on me. So there was a lot of emotions that I had to figure out, and that a
Backtracking
lot of
too.
pain that I had to process. And I'm even processing this pain still now, because I'm like, processing really how much danger my father put me in by calling 911 at that point in time. So, the therapy is what's helping me to get down to those answers. And it doesn't make the pain go away, it doesn't make the hurt go away. But what therapy does is help you to, when the thoughts come and when the pain starts, to
And
process
navigate
and
and how
make
to
a better,
navigate.
yes,
Yeah.
and make a better choice if it does happen. So I won't make any destructive choices. I won't go out here and live destructively because I'm hurting. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
what the importance of going to therapy is for us.
I completely encourage that, and I even told you, like, I was asking you for references because I'm like, also the other part is like finding someone like who to trust or who do you feel comfortable with to express all those things with as well. So I do want to encourage that along with Toya, that like we should all seek out therapy, just because like we need that. And I mean, even like if I go down to even myself, like think about, like if I think about my mom, or if I think about, if you're talking about parents, like they may not have done that as well. So like even like how you're saying like that passes down, like those are things that you want to kind of like unfold so that you can actually break that generational curse.
Absolutely. And 99.9% of the stuff and the emotions that we're going through is probably because of what happened in our childhood or how we were brought
Yeah.
up. And
Yeah.
our parents were just doing the best that they can.
Absolutely.
I'm not an advocate of saying fuck my parents in any way, shape, or form, because my parents had parents too that would have their shit with them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So but I know that basically a lot of the things and the emotions that we have right now and how we react to things has to do with our upbringing or lack of upbringing.
And also, we're in an age now where we have tons of resources, and it's encouraged a lot more nowadays that we have the knowledge to go ahead and go seek it out a little bit more. So I totally feel you on that. Someone does have a question in the question box before I go more into more of our interview.
Are they asking questions?
Yes, and if anyone else has questions, please feel free to put in the question box.
I am not a professional. I've just been through it. That's it. So let's preface with that. Okay.
Yes, she is saying her testimony, y'all.
Yes,
this is a testimonial type of thing. But Toya, I do want to say that your podcast is very helpful with stuff. So your experiences can also help someone else in that realm. Someone said, when did you know this was something you needed help with?
The day that I woke up and I felt like I was in a dream world. So prior to that, I was having anxiety and having panic attacks, but I was just like, whatever, I remember having one of my first panic attacks and I just chalked it up to nothing. I just thought nothing of it. But when those panic attacks became chronic, and then it kind of slipped me into this fight or flight mode. So what happens if you constantly having panic attacks and your brain starts to sense, oh, your body's in fear. You're always in fear. There's something going on. There's fear. There's danger. Your brain stays in that mode, and then your brain flips into this fight or flight mode. And then ultimately what happens is these senses these senses and these feelings come where you're feeling like it's a dream because your body's trying to protect you from the danger. So they have an example like back in the day with the cavemen when they had to fight with the lions and the bears or whatever. Your body would flip into this fight or flight mode so you wouldn't be fearful. Like your body wouldn't feel the anxiety. Somebody said it's scary. It is. It's very scary because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was telling them I thought I was dying. Like I was just like, this is it. Oh, and one point I thought I was dead. Like it was just
wow.
out. Yeah. Like I was like, maybe I died. Like maybe it's just bugged out. This is crazy. So that is when I decided, like, I got to get to the bottom of what this is. And I'm just that kind of person. Like once I latch onto something, I latch on hard, and I just latched on to how do I get better? How do I get back to the person I used to be? Or how do I get back to being better than the person I used to be?
And actually that's the key point, right? Is like, okay, like working on yourself to be better. It's not about our past, but it's about moving forward and moving forward in the right way. So even the fact that, Toya, I feel like even when you're talking about it, is that you're able to recognize within yourself, like, hey, like I need help. Like I always say this, I say this saying or this quote, like I feel like God helps those who help themselves. It's like sometimes we have to take a leap first to expect other things to kind of like follow behind it. And I feel like that's just with everything, like, you know, and I hear you, Allie, shout outs to Allie. Shout outs to also Gamer off of Hot 97. What's good? You know, one day at a time. And that's all you can do is take one day at a time.
Absolutely. And the thing about it now is that with everything virtual, no one will even have to know that you're going to therapy. You know what I mean? Right. So if that is what's holding you back, don't let that hold you back. And if there's a stigma of we don't need therapy and I'm not crazy, it's not for anybody who's crazy.
Right.
People who are, and let's not say crazy, people who have intense mental issues go to psychiatrists. They go to psychiatric wards. Therapy is for, you know, for people who it's not that intense and you need to process emotions. Maybe you're having I would assume that all of our anxiety is high at this point and we need to talk.
Girl, mine, they are like this, okay? It's between the corona, it's between my regular life and what's going on, and then everything that's happening in the world.
Absolutely. Health anxiety is a real thing. You definitely can go to a therapist for health anxiety. Every 5 minutes, we go to the supermarket, and every time we touch something, we're breaking down. At least I know I am. If I touch, like, oh shit, I just touched something.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So,
or I gotta go get my mask.
Yeah, those are all things that you can go to therapy and talk about and process. You know, so I just encourage people, like, they got all kinds of virtual care where don't nobody know nothing. You go and you talk to this person. It could be on the phone or video. I talk to my therapist through the video because I just want to see her face. But yeah, you can do that in the person in the privacy of your own home. And get shit done.
I will be doing that very, very, very soon. Also, I do want to talk about, I know you talked about you experienced depersonalization and all that stuff too. So what was the ultimate moment where you're like, yo, I'm gonna make a podcast about this and I want to be able to touch other people with your analog girl community?
So prior to me having the personalization thing happen, I was in talks with Loudspeaker Network to produce a podcast with them. So it was very exciting because, you know, I'm friends with like the Getting Growns in the podcast world, and my best friend is on Getting Grown, and then I'm friends with the Crystal from the Read and Fran from the Friend Zone. So they were encouraging me to have a podcast, and then when it came time for me to do I guess you want to do pilot or whatever. The anxiety, the depression, and the depression, and the depersonalization really fucked everything up. So, you know, my pilot just didn't come out good. So, but after that, something in me, it was a drive that just was like, you know what, if I can't do this, and they, you know, and I'm not able to be on and be funny and be that, you know, classy ratchet girl that they're looking for, maybe I'll just pull out the mic and just talk about what I'm going through. And that way this will keep me or hold me accountable to my recovery. You know what I mean? So it ultimately, it turned out like that. Like my first episode is very raw, you know, it was like no intro, no segments, no nothing. Like it was just a raw story about what I was going through, what I was feeling, why I was feeling it, and just being a voice for people who are also out there feeling super, super isolated. I was feeling isolated before the pandemic happened, you know? So the mic helped me to feel less isolated.
That's what I like about, I always keep saying this, I like Coronication. And the only reason why I say I like Coronication is because beforehand we were so busy, like, you know, like life is
that what they call it? I was like Coronication. Okay, so they call it like a vacation.
Well, I was calling it Coronication because it's like a vacation from your everyday fast track life, especially if you're here in New York. It is like this, like you don't get a second.
Everything
like
on
100%. So I feel like at this time, like you're saying that, you know, you were able to pick up a microphone, like, you know, this is still a good time at the moment that if there is something that is an outlet for yourself, whether like I created this
Somebody said life be lifing. Yes, life be lifing, and it's ghetto.
100. 2020 is really
Yo,
ghetto.
2020 is ghetto, honey, ghetto.
If it had a lace wig, it would. If it was a lace wig, it would be just messed up.
Yes.
It's just like
Yes.
take that off, like ready to take it off. But if there is something or an outlet for someone to do, like this is still a good time to do it while people are still home or able to find other ways to keep themselves busy. But also, I just want to touch on, is your podcast, is it for just our community or is it for everyone?
So the podcast is specific. I hate the way to say the word specifically. Let's see, how can I put this? I created this platform because the wellness space, there's also a level of white privilege in the wellness space too, as well, especially in the podcasting world. So I knew that there was an avenue for me to start to share my story, because there's not a lot of Black women sharing their story too. Like, you have therapy for Black girls, and you know, there's a lot of Black women who are doing podcasting where it's like start your own business or how to become your own PR consultant. Like, there's a lot of business driven Black podcasts, but not a lot of wellness podcasts for Black women. So I specifically wanted to make a space for us. Now, I don't mind other women coming and joining into the community, but it is specifically for us because I know that we don't have a lot of spaces, especially in the podcasting world, especially in the wellness space. There is very much a lot of white privilege in that space too, as well.
Yes, girl. And just like Dr. Vanis and Eve, they said like this is needed, and they want you to speak on this stuff. Like, we don't have like you said, there's not enough of it. So it's like this is
not.
the time.
And you don't have to be a doctor to share. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I mentioned therapy for Black girls, because there's a lot of therapists on there. So there's like a friend of mine who, she's a life coach, and she's feeling very intimidated because she doesn't have a degree or something like, but she has experience and she has a story. You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of Black women out here that have stories, and I'm just hoping that we all just start creating and making these lanes for us to share our stories and let people know that they're not alone.
Yes, Black girls rock. That's what it says. 100%. Speaking of your friend is you said a doctor of some sort, right? Did you say that?
No, she's not. She's a life coach, but she was
okay. Well, life coach.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought, I know I asked you this before, but have you ever thought about going into that space, being that, or have you, or even after doing this type of podcast, to further yourself in it, or are you just completely going to keep it at like a testimonial thing?
Well, I can't say I don't know what the future holds, but I definitely have no desire to go and write another paper. I have no desire to study another thing. Like, I'm straight on, you know, like school. I'm straight on school loans. I'm straight on all
girl, them loans. First of all, can I just say the loans themselves give me anxiety. I'm still paying off school. Okay.
I got undergraduate and grad, haven't even finished undergrad yet. So I'm straight on that. I don't know, but I do know that with life comes experience. And I think the best way to learn, which we all know, is that the experience, to me, trumps sometimes the education. I feel like
that's 100%.
Yeah, the education is the foundation, but the experience is what really is going to help. And I definitely just want to be able to always be able to relate to the people who are listening to the men and the women, because there are men too as well. Can't forget the analog daddies, because
I was about to ask you about the analog daddies. What do they be saying in your DMs? Because I know you
analog daddies. There was actually one guy he just jumped. He was in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but he's one of the guys, a young Black guy who reached out and was saying that he was experiencing some things that I was going through. And he just, you know, we just interacted and talked. And anytime he had questions, I answered his questions. But yes, there has been a couple of multiple men who have reached out, and on no shade, no trying to holler, none of that. But just like, I'm struggling with this. what has worked for you, and not feeling no kind of way because a woman was helping them. So, but yeah, there's been definitely a lot of Black men and women who have reached out to say, I'm going through this and I had no idea this is what I was going through, and my son just came in. I get excited when I see him.
Hey.
He also be coming and asking me questions too. So he's an analog daddy.
But can I just say, first of all, that is, I like the fact that, first of all, I told you before, remember when we first met and you told me that you had a son? I said, wait, what? Like,
Yes.
what son?
Yeah, he'll actually be 20, he'll be 25 next week.
Well, happy early birthday.
Wait, is it 25, Ian, or 26? Oh my God. Wait, I think it's 25. I think it's 25.
Okay. But I think that's a beautiful thing that, because actually when I look at you, right, I'm like, okay, we're like not too far in age, but then we're not too close. We're not too close and we're not too far.
Okay.
Somehow we're like somewhere in the middle-ish, somewhere.
Yeah,
but what I like about you the most is that you're very, like you said, you're very relatable. Like, I talked to you on the phone it was like an hour. It was going almost like past an hour. I'm like, girl, you giving me like all this life, but it's great that your son is able to have that relationship with you, because you're like Gen X, but then you're like a millennial, or you're like on the cusp, right?
I'm on the cusp. So it's like, I'm 79. So it's like, you ain't really a millennial. Well, it's like they do say I'm a millennial because I started out in that analog space. I was born in the analog space and then grew up digital. You know what I'm saying? It started to transition into digital. And so they call it like exennials. There's things like that. I've seen something like that. They create something like that. So they call us like the exennials. Like, we're basically a middle child of all these daggone generations.
But that's what I think makes your podcast very successful, right? Is because you're able to touch different people and you kind of are like the person who bridges the gap. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree. I would agree, because there are all different kinds of age ranges that are reaching out to me. Some people, actually, someone calls me an analog auntie. I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that on my anxiety auntie. That's what she said, I think.
Okay.
It was something like that, she said. So I guess I'm an auntie to some. I'm the homie to some.
Sister.
A sister to some. Like, it's just whatever it is. As long as you're respectful, I'm straight.
Right. Talk about also, like, being that, you're all these things to so many people. Do you want to talk about some of your meditation services that you provide on your platform?
Well, I ain't got no services, but girl,
or your partnership. Let's talk about your partnership.
So my partnership is with BetterHelp.com.
Let me write that down for y'all.
Yeah, so it's BetterHelp.com/analog girl. If anybody is interested in getting therapy, and it's private therapy, and either virtual or calling, and you can decide what therapist you want. And it's between you and the therapist. And for 10% off your first month, if you can use the link.
Is that right?
Yep. If you use that link, BetterHelp.com. If you use that link, then you'll be able to get 10% off your first month. Also, on my website, I've been trying to get better and be consistent about providing resources for anybody who listens to the podcast or comes to my website. So when you go to my website and you click resources, you're able to get a quick 6-step guide on how to reduce your anxiety. And then I also provide a free 10-minute guided meditation. All you have to do is just sign up for my email list and you'll get that too.
So make sure that all the things that Toya just said, also, Toya, if you want to also put some of the stuff in your comments before we get off, I'll also pin that as well for people too.
Okay.
But yes.
Do I have to do it now? Because then my phone is strategically placed, girl.
Oh,
and I
okay.
ain't gonna touch it. I don't want to touch it.
I will put everything on the post. I'm actually going to post this interview on my page, so there will be more additional things for your 10% off for BetterHelp.com /analog girl, in addition to how you can get on her email subscription. So stay tuned.
Ooh, and My son's girlfriend just joined too. She's so precious, Joanne.
Hey, girl. Aw. So you guys see, you got love and support everywhere. So I want to talk about this too.
Okay.
So you're a mom as well. So do you find that moms or mothers reach out to you as well to say how you're helping them in that type of space, in the parental space as well?
No, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
No, we don't really talk about that.
Okay.
And if I do help them, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't really know that I can help anybody in the mom space. Like, I was a young mom. It's a very interesting story. And I'm still, trying to process, like, what did I do wrong, and how, like, what are the things I could have done better for him. So I guess I'm not sure if they do come to me about that. I mean, if they do think of me in that way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure you help a lot of people in a lot of ways, Toy. And it seems like you're doing a good job because your son's on here supporting. He got his girlfriend on here supporting, and he be asking for advice. So I don't think you did anything wrong. And someone said you did not a wrong.
Oh,
so
thank you. That's John.
You are continuously striving out here. What's your favorite episode to date? Well, at least 3 of them. It doesn't have to be one. Yeah, on your podcast.
Favorite one to date. I like all of them. I can't say one is the favorite, but I will say the one that's the most popular that resonated with people was the episode called Manifesting the Damn Thing with Hey Fran Hey. And she's from the Friend Zone podcast. And she just talked about how to manifest and how manifestation has worked for her. And she just opened my eyes a lot more in how I can advance in manifesting. So I used to be like, well, saying your affirmations and speaking it into existence and writing this on the vision board. And right. Fran broke it more so down and like, this is more so about feelings than it is about saying the affirmation. Sometimes the reason why affirmations might not work is because we don't get to a place of feeling like what we're saying is in the affirmation, if that makes sense. So she worked on us and talked to us about how she more so focused on getting into the feeling of what it is that you want to accomplish. And that actually speeds up the manifestation.
So speaking of manifestation, I know there was a part where she talked about having sex too.
Was that one or no? I talked to you about that because I was saying, that was my what's the word? I guess that was my receipt for it, or I guess my backup to the feeling aspect of it. So there is a way. Some people do believe that they can use a sexual orgasm to manifest something, which I do believe that is true. The reason why I do believe that is because when you have a sexual connection with someone, or you have sex with someone, you are exchanging energies. And if that wasn't so, then we wouldn't have the term soul ties, right? So we do have this very heightened energy when we're having sex with someone. And I know my son is so blown right now.
Sorry. But people be wanting to hear about stuff like this because we hear soul ties. I hear that a lot.
And it's very true because you start to manifest things in a relationship that you might not have wanted, but you can use it on a positive aspect if this is a partner that you love and you trust, or your husband, and manifest things and affirm to each other. So you're about to log on. Manifest things and affirm to each other during the action. And that heightens the manifestation because now you're in a state of euphoria and you're also affirming what it is that you guys both want to accomplish as a couple.
Got you. And I do have a question. If someone has a question in the question box, and if you guys have any questions for Toya, throw them in the question box. We are watching the comments as well, and throw some praying hands. Also throw some hearts up because she is amazing.
You're so cute, girl.
So my sister Kay said, is there any book that you would recommend to help with mental health?
Yes. The book is called Running on Empty. That helped me like tremendously on where my emotions came from, where my anxiety came from, and why I work the way I work. So it's called Running on Empty. The doctor's name is Joanne, but I can't remember the last name. But I can send you that information. I'll send you the screenshot of it, Chantel. I can send that to you.
Okay. And Kay, I'll send that to you too. And then also, is there one for de-personalization too?
Yes, so I have that too. What you have to do is email me, because that is something that I got from the man who helped me to recover from de-personalization. So I don't really, I mean, I bought it, but if someone is not able to afford to buy it, I always can send the downloads or the ebook to them, but I don't really post it because it's just not fair. So if they want it, they can email me. It's info@analoggirlpodcast.com. And then I can give them information that way.
If you could describe in 3 words how you feel or how you're feeling today, and actually a positive light, because we do want to talk about positive things as well, because we're talking about mental health and also trying to take a second to be able to have an outlet to just breathe from everything else. What would be the 3 words that describe how you're feeling on a positive note, if you can?
How I'm feeling on a positive note?
Yeah, positive note.
Let's see, what's positive? I'm feeling blessed.
Amen.
I'm feeling blessed. Actually, just seeing my son coming here, like that just blesses me. Love blesses me. I just love him so much. I love his girlfriend. Like, I just love
so
my family. So I'm just feeling blessed that that God has provided and God has protected me and my family through this time.
Yes.
And it does not go without notice, because a lot of people are struggling, and I've been blessed to say that I've had a job, I have had steady income, I've been able to save money during this, so I'm blessed with that.
Me too, girl.
What else? You said three things?
Yes, 3 things. So you're feeling blessed, and shout outs to his girlfriend, because when a mom likes you, that's like the ultimate.
She's a sweetheart. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling very motivated to continue to push the Black culture narrative in a positive way. So I'm feeling very motivated to continue to push for justice for us. And what's another one? Hungry.
Girl, I'm going to get my Jamaican food as soon as this thing is over. And then I'm going to call you real quick. Be like, how'd you feel about the interview? But those are 3 things. Also, if you guys had 3 things too, just to keep everything on a positive note as well, because I wanted to create a space today where, like I always keep saying, like, beauty's on the inside as well. Like, that's the first place. So you're like, it starts within. If you feel good on the inside, it'll reflect on the outside. And also, like, love yourself. And that's all that we're talking about today. It's all positive notes on how to stay mentally healthy, how to be mentally aware of things that are happening within inside yourself, and how you're actually feeling, and then being able to deal with it in the most proper way so that we're not a harm to ourselves or to others. And also being happy about where we are in our lives, because that's the ultimate purpose. Is like, we all have a purpose, but it's like to know what your purpose is and to carry it out. Right. And to deal with things day by day, and just being, a better person each day. So
absolutely. And self-care, when we say self-care, we get caught up in essential oils and drinking teas and getting massage or having facial and sea moss, which I drove myself crazy. I messed my whole thyroid up taking too much sea moss.
Oh my God.
With self-care, I think it really starts with working on your mental health and mental state. You know what I mean? That's really the beginnings of self-care, because if you ain't got your mind, you ain't got nothing. You know what I mean?
Listen, it's a terrible thing to waste. Is your mind.
Terrible thing to waste, and that's the first thing we should focus on, is what's going on with our mind. Yeah, and then everything else should follow.
Yes. So we do have another question, and Kay said, "What are your thoughts on self-love?" I know you touched on it a little bit, but if you had anything further.
So I think that self-love is what we need. I think that I personally am still on a journey of self-love. It's been recently, in the last year of therapy, is when I realized that I was not operating in a place of self-love for a very, very long time. I was not saying kind things to myself. I wasn't being kind to myself at all in general. Just by the things that I was doing and the destructive behavior that I had. So from experience, I know that it's absolutely important that we practice self-love. And it is it's an ongoing thing. It's not like, oh, the light bulb came on today, I'm self-love today.
Continuous.
It's a continuous thing that you have to work on, because
Absolutely.
of the thoughts and the experiences that we have that will attack our minds. It's definitely something that we have to work towards every day.
Girl, say that. That is first of all, can I say that's actually a real word? And also when you talk about manifestation as well, that is a part of the manifestation. Like, you know, you also, when you sow good things, and we will say like you reap good things. It's like, you know, the good things that you do put out there, you do receive them back. It's just, but it's also what's inside of your heart. It's inside of your soul and your spirit. So
absolutely,
that's a it's never going to stop. I think like self-love is like you said, it's an ongoing thing. And we learn from each different thing that we go through. It doesn't just stop because of just, I don't know, whatever bump in the road that it is.
Right.
You know?
Like once you realize you've gotten to a point where I woke up today and I feel great about myself, this is self-love. Something might happen the next day, and then you've got to be equipped to know to jump back into the car, get back on the road, and get back onto this journey, because now I got to go back to what was teaching me how to get that self-love to begin with, if that makes any sense. So
yeah. Well, this will be one of my last questions, and before I give it to the audience, if they have anything else, I know that we've also talked on, like, there's always that what if factor, right? Like, people get anxiety about like the what if. Also, like, there's a what if, like the part about you don't know what is to come for tomorrow. Like, what are some ways to deal with that part? You know what I mean? Like, it, like compartmentalizing that, because you can say like, let's take one day at a time, but sometimes like your mind be racing, you know, your mind is like, you want to be ahead of it. It's like, I don't want to like go too far, but I also want to be prepared for the next step.
Right. So the what ifs game, I do the what ifs, I call it the what ifs game. Like, we're not gonna play the what ifs game today. I mean, I start to talk out loud to myself, like, okay, girl, because I'll go down a whole rabbit hole. Like,
we should have played that today, but we'll have you come back on another time. We can play the what if.
No, I was saying to myself. That's what I say to myself.
Okay, sorry.
Like,
okay.
I'm not gonna play the what ifs. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Girl, I'm not gonna play the what ifs game. You know, but one of the best things that I've done when it comes to the what ifs is that I shift the what if to what if something good will turn out. Like, what if something good will happen instead of something bad? You know, because we immediately, when people in anxiety, we automatically assume the worst. We automatically assume imminent doom. And so I started to say, well, why do we do that? And why not just shift my thoughts to automatically assume the good, automatically assume that this is going to turn out great. Right. And even if it doesn't turn out great, it doesn't matter, because in the present moment, you are calm. In the present moment, when you're like, what if this does turn out great? It soothes you of whatever anxiety you're going through right now. You can't worry about what is happening ahead of time. We can't call the future. And that's like, when I was watching the Last Dance with Michael Jordan, it was like, he said something like, you know, he was like, people keep asking me what's going to happen when I win ring 6, what I'm going to do. And he's like, why would I worry about a shot I never even took? Like, I'm not worrying about a shot I haven't took yet.
Right.
I'm staying.
Like, let it happen.
He's just saying, I'm staying in the present moment. You know what I mean? Right. I don't care what happens in the future. Right now, though, that's what I'm caring about. So with the what ifs, I just be like, what if it does turn out great? And if it does, that would be great. And then I'll go into a whole nother thought. You know what I mean? Like, it's a muscle that you have to exercise in your brain. Like, this is a mental gym that you got to get in every day, and just be like, this thought was kind of crazy. That thought was weird. Okay, that made my stomach jump a little bit. But then shift to another thought. What makes me feel good? Or what if he do like me? Or what if I do marry a millionaire? You know, like those kind of things.
Girl, don't even get me started on the relationship topics, because they be on there all the time.
So whatever that what if is, like, what if things do turn out to be great? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, outside of everything that we're seeing right now in these streets, you know, you can still do that and just be like, you know, what if, you know, God just decides this all will just cease in another day or two? Who knows? I don't know. But just using that what if something turns out good is just better than sitting and hoping and praying for the worst You know what I mean? And then feeling awful. At least you'll
It's
be
the anxiety.
yeah, and then at least you'll be feeling good in that present moment space, or feeling calm to an extent.
Right. I do notice that there's a lot of what ifs, and I've been seeing a lot of relationship talks on IG. I've been a part of them too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is always like, and mind you, I feel like a lot of people, like, they like that talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a very common topic because everybody is finally kind of like asking the questions that people don't normally answer now that we have very big open forums where people are coming together on these IG platform to, you know, have this real conversation, almost like a kickback. It's just on a bigger scale. So I find that to be a very big common thing. So that what if thing is just, it's just that anxiety pressure point. It's that, and it's like a silent stress too, because no matter what it is, and I'm not saying people dwell on the relationship parts all the time. I'm just saying that is that is something, whether it could be work. It's like, what if
I get fired? And I used to have that all the time. Like, what if I get fired? What if I get fired? It fucked me up the whole time because all I was thinking about was, what if I get fired? That I didn't focus on the present moment and do the work so I don't get fired. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, you just got to be like, and what if I don't get fired? But if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But what I do know is I have work to do right now, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, like, that's where you got to put your brain at.
Well, the part that I guess I'll just bring everything back together in this as a glue to everything that you just said, especially on this Sunday, is that in everything, go to prayer, stay centered, and just, you know, keep those peaceful thoughts within, because like you said, like I think Killian said, take the negative and make it into a positive. So, you know, even with right now, it's very a lot of negativity, but if there's a group of us that focus on the positive and we do it collectively, I do feel like there will be a change, especially with prayer. That's how I feel. Not saying anyone else has to feel that way, but
I mean, we got the hands and the legs and the eyes right now to protest and speak up to this. Thank God we have that. You know, at the end of the day, it could be something as simple as that.
Yes. I'm gonna ask, does anyone have any questions for Toya before we start to wrap up? Because, you know, Fred, Hammond, and Kirk is about to take us to church. I'm trying to see what everybody's going to say. All right. Well, Toya, I want to thank you for coming on to Chantel's Beauty Talk. This was definitely great for everyone's beauty on the inside. And also, everyone, remember, beauty is also on the outside. And most of all, just like we've been talking about this whole hour, beauty is loving yourself. Beauty is also staying mentally healthy and aware of your actions and things that are going on with inside yourself so that you can continue your self-love and your self-journey. So, Toya, I'm so thankful that you decided to come on here, my beautiful Black sister. Like,
I'm appreciative that you know, I always be like, you are just so precious. I love your face. It's the perfect face. And I just love your
love you too.
So thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you next Sunday, and look out for this interview on my live. And we will talk to you soon.
Bye, girl.
Bye, y'all. Bye, Toya. Love you.
Love you too, boo. See you at church.
See you at church, girl.
Yeah. See you at church, girl.
See you at church.